You're listening to Cinematic Adventures, proud member of the Misfit Faction Media Network.
Good morning, Vietnam!
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
I feel the need for speed.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
Badges? We don't need no badges. I don't have to show you any stinking badges.
You make me want to be a better man.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
I wish I knew how to quit you.
Love means never having to say you're sorry.
He's looking at you, kid.
I've always depended on the kindness of strangers.
All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
Would you be shocked if I put on something more comfortable?
You know how to whistle, don't you, Steve? You just put your lips together and blow.
I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Cinematic Adventures. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Paul, and with me is Sean. Sean, how are you today?
I'm really good, especially after hearing that new intro.
Oh, yeah?
Good job.
Thanks, man.
Good job.
You know, I've been working a little extra hard this week.
I enjoyed that thoroughly.
I know. We even listened to the whole thing.
I know. It's amazing.
Yeah, so we want to thank you guys for tuning in. As always, if you want to learn a little bit more about us or if you want to find access to all of our old shows, you can always check out our website, themisfitfaction.com.
Definitely check it out, folks.
We just redid the entire thing. It has direct access to not only all of our podcasts on the network, but also fun behind-the-scenes photos, little biographies. Rob's is strange, and we love it. You can also find us, if you're taking us on the go, on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and Podbean. All those apps are available on the website. Again, that's themisfitfaction.com. But let's talk about some news with us, some news with the world before we jump right into our very first topic. Number one, Sean, how are you today?
I'm good.
You're good? Why are you good today?
Just, still on vacation from work, feeling good. Got a couple days left before I have to go back, but you know what?
I was really trying to get you to segue into...
I'm about to.
Oh, sorry.
So you just...
Edit.
Well, I'm good because we have... obviously, we're going to continue our Monster Month today, but we have decided that the month of April, we are going to devote to Mr. Mel Brooks.
Who?
I mean, who?
Did he do Clerks?
No. No, but looking forward to that because we've been talking about that
Sean
since...
in 13 seconds.
I'm not pissed off. We've been talking about that since we started this. Like, when are we gonna talk about a Mel Brooks film? I was like, we got to build up to that.
We have been so excited that, in fact, when we did our satire episode, which was one of our very first episodes,
I think that was our very first episode.
Yeah, we specifically
said no Mel Brooks movies because that he deserves their own episodes.
Absolutely. So starting next month, first we're going to continue Monster Month for the rest of March. We have coming up next week is Godzilla King of the Monsters, followed up by a surprise monster movie, a.k.a. we haven't thought of which one we want to do yet because we forgot how many weeks are in March.
We haven't thought of that yet, but we'll have something.
Yeah.
I have faith in us.
Leading up to the premiere and our first, I want to say our first live movie after Wonder Woman.
Yes.
Right. With Godzilla vs. Kong.
Well, yes, and we're going to also have the crossover for
Justice League
first.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
That I'm looking forward to.
Oh, that'll be fun, mostly because we're going to have pizza and beer at it.
Well, yes, and we're going to hopefully watch a good movie.
At this point.
Wow.
I'll take anything that's not the Joss Whedon Justice League.
Paul's just like, just give me something.
Yeah,
just give me something, please.
Just give me some more Henry Cavill. He's just so handsome. But and then following up in April, what is the theme of April?
No,
excuse me,
May.
March, May, June, Phil. I panicked.
Well, May, we looked at each other and we're like, well, we know what we got to talk about in May. I mean, what's a famous holiday in May?
Showgirls.
That's not a holiday.
Thrust it. Nothing?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. What's on the 4th of May?
I don't know. It's the day after the 3rd. May the 4th be with you. I'm done. I'm done. All right. But yes, for May, we are going to be doing our first Star Wars month. Now, we thought and we pondered, and we decided that we are going to focus just on the original trilogy first. We're going to be doing episodes 4, 5, and 6, and followed with
with what we think will be a fun a fun talk. It definitely fits into the Star Wars mythos, but bear with us. But I think you'll enjoy it.
A non-traditional Star Wars
Star Wars adventure. I agree with that statement very much.
But a little sad news that we just kind of wanted to touch base on really quick. One of our favorite movie theater chains has just declared bankruptcy.
Yeah, Alamo Drafthouse. That's a bummer.
That is a bummer. I've only been there like twice.
Oh God! If I lived in Yonkers, I would have been there every other day because they were just so much, so good.
Another victim of COVID-19.
Yeah, it's a shame. It really is. Hopefully, they just need to restructure and.
Bankruptcy doesn't mean the end.
No, bankruptcy does not mean the end. It may prolong the end, but it doesn't mean the end.
Yeah, we also have new movie theaters reopening, and Connecticut's gonna reopen everything in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, crazy. But we just kind of want to touch base on it because our eventual goal is to be doing not only our theme months but also new movie months. And
that's the key. Is once movies start actually being released to theaters again on a regular basis, not just the HBO Max and. Warner Brothers movies, but, obviously we have a bunch of movies that we've wanted to see that have been pushed back. James Bond, Black Widow. I mean, there's a bunch of movies that are still got to come out that we want to talk about. So, that's what our goal is that, we're actually going to go to a theater, watch a movie, and come back here, maybe not in the same day or same night, but then talk about it.
That would be
because
lovely.
At this rate, we're going to run out of movies to talk about.
I don't think we'll ever run out of movies.
We're not going to run out of movies, but we're going to run out of movies that both you and me have seen.
Challenge accepted.
Okay,
sir.
I'm okay with that challenge.
I don't know. In this world of streaming, it's only easier to.
I absolutely agree with you there.
Trying, especially some of those older movies. But yeah, it's a weird time. There's a little light at the end of the tunnel, especially with movies. You'll see more content from us. You'll see more crossovers. I'm sure when Black Widow rolls around, we'll kind of play together with the Multiverse fan cast. And so I think that's about it for new. Anything else you want to talk about in the intro?
No, I think that sums it up.
And what movie are we talking about?
We are talking about Kong Skull Island.
Now, before we jump into it, just initial thoughts on Kong Skull Island. Anything that just kind of jumps out at you?
This was obviously it's the second film in the MonsterVerse, Legendary's MonsterVerse, right after the movie we talked about last week, the 2014 Godzilla. What's the word I'm looking for? It definitely lives up to the hype, I thought. Okay. I enjoy this movie very much. I just watched it again the other day just to get my mind back into having seen it because it's been a while since I've actually sat down and watched it. Just very well done. Good story, good effects, and definitely much better than the Peter Jackson one. I'm sorry. But it also plays to a different. The Peter Jackson one was a. I mean, that was his like baby. That was like he just wanted to do that, but there was nothing exciting about that movie.
Yeah, going back in history a little, King Kong, he's a historic character.
I mean, God, the 1933 film is just it's one of the greatest movies ever made.
I would even say it changed cinema, and it's a lot of directors look back on it, stop motion animation, and the black and white, and a lot of the elements you still see in the modern Kong stories. Him fighting other monsters, him being in love with a
very good looking woman.
Yeah, blonde bombshell. Captain Marvel was in this movie.
She was.
But I remember seeing the 1933, and obviously we have Kong versus or Godzilla versus Kong. See, you got me doing that. Listen to our episode last week, kept switching it on me.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Superman versus Batman. Dang it. Civil War, Captain America. But this movie really exceeded League Justice. Turn It Off is actually the Justice League's actual name.
Oh, really?
Oh, really? I was trying to rewatch it.
See, I can watch it.
I can, but now that I'm like getting so excited for Snyder.
I mean, geez, it's crazy.
We got to do a whole episode on studio interference. That'd be a lot of fun.
I would definitely like to research how many movies
the
director claims were just the studio just interfered way too much.
I mean, you could do a full episode on the Fantastic Four movie.
Oh, absolutely.
With just him going on to Twitter after this. Oh, by the way, we're on Twitter. I don't know how to use it, so just bear with me on that one. But, we're going to jump into everything right after. Then this is new to our episodes, a new feature. We are actually going to have a mild commercial break. So bear with us. I'm probably going to mess it up, but we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back to talk about Kong Skull Island.
I'll deal with you later. Stay put. I'll be back in a flash.
Back in a flash. Wow. Does he say that often?
Too often.
And we are back, and somehow I didn't mess it up.
Wow. I really thought you were going to delete everything we just talked about.
That was a possibility.
But it was only 9 minutes. We could have redone
that. But
it would have been like that crossover where like 2 hours in.
Oh, God. And we couldn't even do an intro. Yep.
Smorgasbord.
Oh, my God. Rob, shut up. Love you to death, but shut up. God, I was frustrated that night. But anyway, so we are talking, we're going to jump into first the actual character of King Kong. We'll talk about him in this movie, him in other versions, what we kind of expect from him coming forward. And then we're going to talk about the cast. We'll talk about the director a little bit, and we are then going to go through the plot as we typically do. So if you're new to our podcast, we always love to kind of run through the plot of the movie and really kind of, we don't get super detailed. It's not like, and then this character turned left. Because we also know we have a lot of new listeners on iTunes, Spotify. We want to thank you guys for tuning in and giving us a chance. And hopefully you enjoy the show, as it were. But let's talk about King Kong as a character first. Now,
eighth wonder of the world.
The eighth wonder of the world. And for those of you guys who don't know, Sean is the ninth.
Oh, really?
And a half.
Okay.
All right. So, King Kong, giant ape. He's basically
gorilla.
Ape.
Gorilla.
Monkey. That's offensive. Gonna get canceled for that one. But yes, so typically living on Skull Island is pretty much the norm of the character. Any thoughts on King Kong to begin with?
Thoughts on the character? Like many of the other old horror movies I grew up with, King Kong was definitely one of them. I was never a huge King Kong fan. I don't know why.
That's fair.
I can't explain it, but going back as an adult and watching that movie, I'm much more respect for it now, which is saying something because as a kid you should be blown away by seeing that, seeing the hard work that was put into making that movie, the original I'm talking about, the stop motion animation, the scene of him climbing the Empire State Building.
It's all classic.
It's just pure cinema history. I be honest, I've never seen any of the other Kong films, like between the original and the Peter Jackson King Kong. I never saw all the way through the 70s King Kong where he climbed the World Trade Center instead of the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
I could tell you I was on the King Kong ride at Universal when I was a kid, which was like taken from the 70s King Kong.
Oh God, I remember that too. Yeah,
that's such a classic ride. So as the character of King Kong, in the movies I've seen, he's always portrayed similarly. He's looked at as a monster, but he really, is misjudged.
Misunderstood.
It's like the Frankenstein monster.
Yes.
It's basically that.
Yeah, a little bit, to a point. The thing I always liked about Godzilla, about King Kong, is that he's actually super intelligent. And that's a great aspect because we joke, and all the memes have been great for Godzilla versus Kong because everybody's like, Godzilla's gonna kick his butt.
Is he?
So the thing is, and we see it in this, King Kong can. They just refer to him as Kong. They never call him King Kong in this.
No, they just refer. They say he's king, but they don't call him actually King Kong.
Kong is he uses weapons in this. He uses like actual fighting style. Like Godzilla's more of a bite and blast kind of guy.
Atomic breath.
Atomic. That's why I said bite and blast.
I know.
That should be the title of our next episode.
Bite and blast.
But Godzilla he's king. Yeah, but like Kong has, I think. You're going to have a battle between power and speed and intelligence, and Kong, especially in this, we see a lot more with Kong in this, using rational thinking.
There's also a backstory with Kong in this movie, which I enjoy. That,
yes.
He is king, but he's trying to, keep these other monsters at bay.
He's almost like a Ronin, a lone samurai.
Yeah.
You find out that his entire family was killed by the Skullcrawlers.
John
C. Reilly.
I just made it up. It sounds stupid now that you say it, but just never mind.
But why do they call him that? Because it sounds neat. John C. Reilly steals this movie.
Oh, he's great.
Oh, he's fantastic in it. But going back to Kong, especially in this iteration, you see his scars. You see, like, he bleeds in this. He's not indestructible like Godzilla, but there's a lot of detail to the character. Mm-hmm. Kind of missing his junk, as pointed out by the director himself, which is great. It really just, and he's got a lot of character to him and a lot of his own style in this. Unfortunately, Kong is a very good example of, over the years, he's finally gotten more personality. Mm-hmm. He's gone from stop motion to a guy in a suit to a guy wearing a motion capture suit. It was Andy Serkis who did it
in the Peter Jackson one.
Yeah, that was like his big.
That was after Gollum.
After Gollum, yeah.
But that was.
But
yes. I didn't know that the guy, the actor who plays King Kong, is actually in the movie.
Now, here's an issue with this movie that you brought that up. I could not tell you a single one of the characters' names.
Oh, no, me neither.
Except for, I think, Conrad is Hiddleston's.
Dear Billy.
Dear Billy. It's not even a character in the movie. Dear Billy.
Yeah, no, the characters in this movie are not memorable characters. No. Like, you wouldn't, now, would I like to have seen another one with these characters? Yeah. The Tom Hiddleston and Brie Larson characters, they worked for this movie. Could I have seen them in another one? Yeah, absolutely. But I'm not going to cry that I don't ever see their characters again. They're just, it is what it is.
I'm just going to cry about my life in general.
Okay.
Not about this movie. But
you're done crying?
Oh, yeah. Commercial break.
That was good.
Yeah, got to write that time down. But so Kong, as a character, I really enjoy, and I love a good monster-human team-up. And when they all team up against the alpha Skullcrawler at the end,
yes,
really just cool stuff. And they do it in we'll talk about it in King of the Monsters next week with all the humans joining Godzilla to fight. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
And I think in King of the Monsters they say good thing he's on our side about Godzilla, and one of the doctor says for now. So I'm really excited. We got some good stuff coming up. And this movie does do a good job balancing kind of the human aspects with the big monster fights.
Yes.
We get our big monster fights. We have arguably probably the most creative monsters in the series thus far. I know it's only 3 movies, but like the Mutos were okay in Godzilla.
Yeah.
But like this movie has a lot of really cool.
See, I wasn't a huge fan of the skull crawlers.
I like some of the other things like the spider with the bamboo legs.
Spider, spiders just...
Spiders in general creep me out.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of spiders, but they when they're big, it's just... Ugh.
Yeah. But like even like the more like practical, like the giant water buffalo thing.
Yeah, that was cool. Because it's like basically taking animals that we know and just, making them back at their prehistoric time, what they looked like.
Yeah.
I'm sure is what they went at with
or if they evolved differently.
Yeah, because again, this island is supposed to be basically has not been seen, obviously since prehistoric time. No one's been on it, so who knows the creatures that are on this thing.
Oh yeah.
You saw the giant octopus.
Yeah. Did you know, fun fact, apparently I think it's in King of the Monsters when they show all the monsters waking up.
Yes.
One of them is, I think it's called Leviathan, and it lives in Loch Ness.
Oh really?
Yeah, that's one of the fun little Easter egg. I listen. So because the filmmakers have a challenge with these films in that they have to pay to use certain monsters.
Yeah.
They had to pay for Ghidorah, they had to pay for Rodan and Mothra and all that. And that's why a lot of the monsters they use are their own creations. And I think
the good thing about King of the Monsters was they were willing to
get the big
ones, because that was one thing, like, especially when you knew that they were planning a Monsterverse was what they call it. I was like, okay, so you got to get some of the other big monsters from Godzilla, involved. So the fact that they definitely were willing to, fork over the money and get those characters is big.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna rewatch King of the Monsters probably in the next couple days. Definitely prepping for next week's episode because I don't think I gave the movie the kudos it might deserve. I'm sure I'll rewatch it and I'll probably like it a lot better. So definitely.
It's a weird. The Monsterverse is very strange. Like people watch it, they're like, "We want more monster fights."
No, yeah, we talked about this last week.
Yeah.
I mean, again, like with the whole Godzilla movie, it's like, oh, you cut away, you didn't see much. But then in King of the Monsters, okay, there was too much. And even in Skull Island, I thought Skull Island did a good job.
It did a much better job.
Much better job of giving us the creatures, and then obviously sticking to the human story. So I also think the human story in this is much more interesting.
All right, so nice segue because we're going to actually break down the cast a little bit. So, obviously, the biggest name at the time was Tom Hiddleston.
Yes,
as
fresh off of
as
Loki,
because this is before Brie Larson was cast as Captain Marvel.
I believe she was. I think it was announced. I think when the movie came out that she was going to be playing Captain Marvel. Because I remember going into seeing this, everybody was like, "Oh, it's Loki and Captain Marvel together," and I'm like, "Who's Captain Marvel?"
And Nick Fury.
You're right.
But so Tom Hiddleston plays James Conrad. He's an ex-British Special Air Service captain. Mm-hmm. So he's more of a mercenary in this, and they hire him to kind of guide him through.
They need someone that could track them through a jungle.
Yeah, basically,
pretty much.
And he is your Indiana Jones, your Star-Lord type character. He can fight, he can scrap, and he's rough around the edges, but he's got a heart of gold. But pay me 4 times my amount of money, and
the line he has, it's like he's spouting out the ways you could die on this island. I thought was great.
Oh, it's a great
and not even
scene.
to mention the creatures that just want to eat you live.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, so good. But he's a neutral character. He'll go where the paycheck is. I really enjoy it. There's some unbelievable moments in it with him. The sword scene is a little.
It's over the top.
It's over the top and cheesy, but
it's fun.
Yeah, it is what it is.
That's his moment. Like that was his moment. Like
that's like his Wonder Woman going through no man's land moment. Just didn't land as well.
Yeah, no, definitely.
And his hair was perfect the whole time. Pulls off a gas mask. He's like, maybe he's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. But who's next on our cast list?
We have Mr. Samuel L. Jackson.
Never heard of him.
Preston Packard. He is a United States Army Lieutenant Colonel and the Sky Devils helicopter squadron leader. So basically this movie takes place right when Vietnam is ending. Mm-hmm. So literally all our soldiers are being pulled out of Vietnam, and Preston Packard's group is called upon for this one last mission. And you immediately you are introduced to Sam Jackson's character, and you could tell he's one of those, I don't want the war to be over.
He's one of those characters like Loki says to Captain America. No, not Ultron says it to Captain America. He says, pretending you can live without a war.
Yeah.
He's a character that he asks the main other army guy. Mm-hmm. He's like, well, what are you going to do after the war? And like the guy's like, oh, I'm going to go home. I got this job. And he's like, really, the question was more, what am I going to do after the war? I've got nothing after that. Like he is a soldier through and through, and
so he signs them up, no questions asked, and
in a phone booth,
and you can see his men are just like, really, one day we were one day away from going home, and
and he kind of turns into the
he becomes
pseudo antagonist.
He's the villain.
Yeah, he's the bad. He becomes the bad guy.
He becomes the bad. You understand his, why he's like the way he is, but it gets to a point where you're just like, okay, man, enough is enough.
Calm down.
Just calm down. This is all because of you.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I'm sorry, I hate to say it, but this is all because of you, because you were just like, hey, I'll go.
Yeah, I know, right? But
who we got next?
Going down the list, we have John Goodman as William Bill Randa. Now,
talk about a guy who can just be in anything.
Oh my god, and he looks good in this movie. This is like when he first started to lose all the weight.
It's weird with him because he loses weight, he gains the weight, he loses weight. But
are we talking about Jonah Hill?
No,
I like Jonah Hill though. But one day we gotta do Superbad.
Good for you.
Get Ronnie on here for Superbad. He'll make it a 3-hour episode. Be longer than the actual movie.
I literally have not watched that movie probably in a decade.
Wow. Oh, wow, I feel old. Oh, I got to lay down.
Well, it's been longer than a decade.
I don't want to talk about it. It's
been 15 years.
But yes, John Goodman as Bill Randa. Now, he is the monarch. He's the exposition.
Basically, because we know of Monarch from, obviously, Godzilla with Ken Watanabe and Sally Hawkins. So
where they're an actual legitimate...
They're an actual legitimate organization.
Here
we're seeing, because Monarch is still that... Oh, guys, aliens and monsters, we don't believe in them. So he's looked upon as a crackpot.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't act like it, but you could kind of sense why. He doesn't have that, like...
The traditional...
he doesn't have that, believe me, I know what I'm talking about.
You ever notice that crackpots in movies, they're always dropping something?
Yes.
They're always like, they always got their hands full and they're dropping something. And they're always like, they have twitches and mannerisms. Like, his character in this this is what I believe. This is what science supports.
And he has a good Well, later on in the movie, he has a good, little monologue of exposition of why he joined Monarch and all that stuff. I guess we'll get to that a little later.
It's really good. And his death is actually, I didn't notice this until a rewatch, and it was pointed out to me. The reason...
Spoiler alert.
Oh, yeah, we're going to spoil this whole movie.
Well, if you haven't listened to us by now, I mean, geez,
We have new listeners.
Okay.
Mean. But anyway, such a happy
If you're
guy.
listening to a movie podcast, you movie's going to get spoiled. I'm sorry.
Take a deep breath.
I'm just saying.
Go watch WandaVision. It'll make you feel better.
That's later.
Okay. So he's playing with the camera.
Or Coming to America. I haven't decided
Or Coming to America. Yeah, that'd be a good one, too. But he's playing with the camera, and he goes, oh, no, because he sees the reflection of the Skullcrawler in the camera.
See, I didn't catch that. So
I never
thought it was
noticed
the
that.
Sound of the cameras probably was like what?
Oh, no. But no, he saw that it was above him. So... They do a lot of work with reflections in this movie.
They do.
A lot of good stuff, especially in eyes. A lot of eye stuff.
And the opening scene was great too.
Oh yeah, I love, and I think it's the poster, the shot of him against the sun.
Yes,
and like you can see the heat. Oh god, it's really good.
It's up there. It's kind of similar to the Godzilla poster with the soldiers.
Yeah, the red
with the red coming down that they're air jumping into the city, but definitely really good.
I wanted to point out, I forgot, I like Kong when he's not too gorilla-like. Like the Kong with Andy Serkis, he's a gorilla. He's walking around on all fours. I like this Kong because he's not necessarily just a big gorilla. The fact that he's like standing upright most of the time, he's got a different kind of physicality than your traditional gorillas. It shows that he is an ape that is different. Like that, it makes him more of a kind of like how Godzilla is not just a lizard.
Yeah. It's similar to the original. I mean, because again, in the original stop motion,
they
couldn't
do
have him on all fours.
It would be way too time consuming.
I'm sure they were just like, no, just have him on his two legs.
Nobody cares. But going down the list, who's up next?
That is Miss Brie Larson as Mason Weaver. She plays an anti-war photographer and investigative photojournalist.
Yeah, she's there.
I mean,
she's there to.
But this is before Captain Marvel. I can't remember if she'd won the Academy Award yet for Room. Listen, I think she gets a lot of flack. I think she's a good actress, but is she like God's gift to acting? No, but
you are.
Thank you. This kind of it's like it's just
God,
again.
I forgot she was in 21 Jump Street.
She was in. Oh, that's right.
She's also in Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah. That's the first movie I remember.
The Room was 2015.
All right, so this is after.
Yeah, this is after. Yeah.
Right. No, but it was before Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's.
I enjoy her work.
She's good. I mean, it just there's not much to her character.
She's a very powerful personality in real life. I think we'll just leave it at that. Going down, we have. These are kind of like our. We're going to go through these ones quickly because those are Well, let's do John C. Reilly first.
Well, John C. Reilly, you got to talk about
as Hank Marlowe. So in the beginning of the movie, you see him land with the Japanese character. What's his name? Gumbay. So they're.
I think it is. I could be wrong on that.
No, I think you're right. But so basically,
Gunpei.
We're gonna go with Gumby.
Well, because I was saying Gumbay, I'm thinking of Surf Ninjas. Was like Gumbay, like Poke's friend.
Well done. We gotta do that movie one day. Oh my Lanta. Do that during Ninja Turtles month. But
we gotta do the cheesy like kids.
Three ninjas, all that. There was a very big martial arts craze. It was all from Power Rangers.
No, I think before Power Rangers.
I think Power Rangers kind of exasperated.
I think it was more from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I think you're from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Fine, fair enough.
That is fair enough. But anyway, so John C. Reilly is Hank Marlowe. He lands. He's been on this island for 29 years, living among the natives.
Yes.
I love how the natives just don't talk.
Yes. It's like, yeah, you've been here as long as I have. You kind of just know what they're going to say.
Yeah, I mean, I've known you for almost, I don't want to talk about it, 20 plus years.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. That hurts, doesn't it? Yeah. And you and I can kind of tell what the other is.
I can't tell what you're saying.
Oh, I was going to say eating. But anyway.
Okay.
All right. What's that? What's it? Scary Movie 3, I think, or Scary Movie 4?
You gotta I know your body, dude.
No, that's a good one, too. But where she goes, we're even finishing each other's, and he goes, dinner. Yeah, good stuff. Those movies suck. The first two are great. We got to do those. God, we have so many. You made it seem like we're running out of movies.
My argument was we can't talk about, 3 movies in one episode. We have to split them up.
Fine. But anyway, so he's really the comedic effect relief of this movie.
He's the comedic effect, but he's also you forget about him throughout the movie, like leading up to it, and it's because John C. Reilly's in the movie because they promote John C. Reilly, but I don't recall him being in the trailer. I can't remember that. So it was still like a bit of a nice little fun surprise when he appears, and you're like, oh, that's the guy from the beginning. Because again, it's just it's a good little
And he gets his happy ending.
He does get his happy ending.
Oh, what a great post-credits, mid-credit scenes. It was just good. Oh, God.
And it's a good post-credit scene, I thought. They did a good job at that.
Which is weird. Post-credit scenes are hit or miss. Sometimes they're really good. Other times
Marvel
they lead to nothing.
Was so good, and then it got to a point where we're just like, really? It's like, are you guys even trying anymore?
I remember... So, post-credit scenes have an interesting history. They've been around forever.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes, like Ferris Bueller did it. You're still here. But...
Go home.
It worked in the first couple of Marvel movies, and then they made the post-credit scene the joke.
Well, especially after Avengers. With
shawarma.
The shawarma thing. Then the Howard the Duck. And then it just got...
They shifted it then to the mid-credit scene. It's like the plot scene.
Yeah, and then the post-credit scene was just kind of like, okay, we're having fun. Which is fine.
Spider-Man Homecoming did it the best, though.
I don't remember which one.
Captain America. Patience is a virtue. Sometimes you can wait for something and nothing comes from it.
Okay.
Yeah, he's doing like all the PSAs. Pretty sure this guy's a war criminal now. But so let's talk about some of our lesser known characters in this. I'm just gonna go straight through it. You ready?
Go for it.
All right, we got Jing Tian as San Lin, who's
she's one of
biologist. Toby Kebbell as Jack Chapman. He's the most useless sacrifice in the entire movie.
Well, he's also the one that plays King Kong.
No, you're thinking about a different one.
No, Chapman, isn't it?
Am I thinking about a different one?
I thought that at least that's...
Oh, you're right. Toby Kebbell. Yeah. So, yes, he's kind of alone for most of this movie. He's the Dear Billy dad.
Yes.
Dear Billy dad. So, he is... I enjoy him.
He's like... I guess he's like the second in command. The way...
Yeah.
That's the way I get it from Sam Jackson.
And then we have John Ortiz as Victor Nieves, senior Landsat official on... so he's a scientist. Corey Hawkins as Houston Brooks, a geologist. Jason Mitchell as Glenn Mills. He's a warrant officer. He's funny in this. I like him. Shea Wingham as Earl Cole. Now, he's the one that has the dumbest self-sacrifice.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to talk about it. And then I think that's pretty much it for the main cast. We got some other names. Thomas Middlevich, he actually cameos in it. And then he's in Godzilla King of the Monsters, which is always fun. But let's go through this plot. Are you ready to plot it?
I do like to plot it.
You like to plot it?
Yeah, plot it.
Who directed this movie again?
You're going to put that on me.
I am going to put that on
you. Thank you. The man's name is Jordan, and I'm guessing here, Vogt-Roberts. V-O-G-T. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure we listened to it beforehand, and we still forgot.
Jordan Vogt-Roberts.
Man has a great beard.
Did have a great beard.
Like, it is down past his belly button.
Yes. So, I mean, he hasn't really done anything else. He has been announced as the director for the upcoming Metal Gear Solid movie, but that was like announced a while ago, so I don't know if that's ever going to happen. But he has done one other movie called The Kings of Summer. He's done a stand-up documentary, and then he did Kong Skull Island. He's done a couple things for TV, mostly Funny or Die.
Love Funny or Die.
But that is about it. And it's I guess a shame because, I mean, I think he did a good job with this movie.
Oh, some of the cinematography in this is beautiful.
So we'll see if the Metal Gear Solid movie ever gets made. Maybe that'll be his, breakout.
Big one, yeah.
But
let's jump.
I thought it was definitely good job.
Yeah, no, I like him. So do you want to do the plot today, or you want me to start it off?
You could start it off.
So the movie starts off in 1944 with the two pilots landing, and it's a great shot of him coming out of the sun.
Yes.
Basically. You got Hank Marlowe and, yes, Gunpei. Gumby and Pokey lands on Skull Island. No. And they start fighting, like fist fighting. Dude, when he catches that guy's sword, it's like hard to watch, but like you do what you got to do. And somehow Kong sneaks up on him.
Kong sneaks up on a lot of people.
He is like seriously.
He's a ninja.
He's a ninja in this movie.
He's a ninja.
Imagine just turning around, there's a giant ape. Oh.
And you don't even see it's a silhouette. Which
is really cool. Like they do a lot of good work with silhouettes and reflections, and cinematography is done by Larry Fong. I am currently a fan now. Like you wonder how much of the cinematography is the director. Every director has their own style.
Well, yeah, you have your own style, but obviously the cinematographer's the cinematographer's there to make your style happen.
Yeah, translate it.
But there are cinematographers out there who add a certain thing to it.
Oh, you're going to love this. Larry Fong.
Yeah.
He's been the director of photography for 4 Zack Snyder films.
Okay. Which is
evident. Say what you will about Zack Snyder.
I've never said Zack Snyder films don't look good.
Oh, they look great. He did so some of the movies he's done.
He did Sucker Punch.
300, Watchmen, Sucker Punch, Super 8, Now You See Me, Batman vs. Superman, Kong, The Predator.
All right.
That's the Shane Black one, too. I like that one.
I never saw that one.
Wait, no. Which one's the one with Adrian Brody?
That's the Shane Black one.
Oh, yeah, I like that one. Yeah, that one's actually much better. And the Tomorrow World.
Adrian Brody.
He got cut for that movie. He was jacked. But anyway, so they get interrupted by Kong appearing because obviously he was probably made aware of all the ruckus. Now, the film jumps to 1973 with great little opening montage.
Yeah, because you have your it's very similar to the Godzilla opening. You have your little clips of newsreel footage of all the nuclear testing and submarines and all that stuff.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. Then it flash forwards to 1973 in Washington, D.C., and John Goodman has the great line that I'm sure D.C. will never be as screwed up as it is right now. Which again this was 4 years ago when the movie came out, so it was funny then. It's even funnier now.
Oh God, my head.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's 5 years now. 2016.
I thought this was 2017.
I thought this was 2016.
No, 2017.
Ah, dang it, I was wrong. Edit. But anyway, so it cuts up to John Goodman. Bill Randa is his character. He is trying to get a little bit more funding for
just a tad.
Yeah, he wants to go to a place recently discovered named Skull Island, where he believes that creatures of unusual proportions exist. So he manages to talk his way. He obviously has some clout.
Well, he has some clout, but he also is looked as a bit of a. You could tell
they're exasperated because he's the
senator is played by Richard Jenkins, who's a very very good character actor.
It's I thought we canceled you.
Yeah, he basically is you again, really, man? I don't have time for this.
Doesn't he show up when he's supposed to, even though his meeting was canceled?
His meeting was canceled, and I'm sorry, the character, the other guy's name.
His assistant?
Yeah.
It is that guy.
Corey Hawkins as Houston Brooks. So he's kind of along just to follow John Goodman, but he actually persuades the senator by saying, hey, this information is going to be in the hands of the Russians probably in a couple weeks. Do you really want them to find it first? And he's just that actually makes sense.
Yeah. Because Cold War.
Yeah. No,
yeah.
This is the height
I love when they try to explain it to John C. Reilly. So it's like a war you don't fight in the summers? Love it.
But yeah. So, and then, of course, John Goodman's just also one other thing. We're going to need a little bit of military support.
Yeah.
And
because they know that there are monsters there.
Yes.
They don't present it as such.
No. They present it as we want to see what's there. But they're we know something is there.
Yeah. So we get introduced to Packard and his team. Mm-hmm. They all have a little bit of personality. They're all just kind of hanging out on the base, waiting to go home. They're celebrating. Time to go home.
The war's over.
We lost, but hey,
pretty much
Vietnam. But in Watchmen, we won. So, Packard gets his team together for this last mission. They also recruit James Conrad, played by Tom Hiddleston, in a bar. Because what's Vietnam without a seedy, creepy Vietnam bar?
Yeah. And you see him use his little skills there because I guess some patrons think he's screwing them.
So hustling.
Hustling.
That's what Americans do in foreign countries in film. Don't you know that? We're always hustling.
Do you hustle?
There was that one time, but I hurt my back. Yeah, that's why I go to the...
You're not much of a hustler.
Yeah, no. I prefer the bump. But anyway, I tried the worm once. No. That's why they call me the worm guy. Callback to stupid Godzilla. But anyway, so they managed to recruit everybody, and they also get an anti-war photographer named Mason Weaver.
They don't choose it, but they...
Yeah, how does that happen again? Do you remember?
I guess they find out about the mission, and she gets selected by her boss. I don't, basically she shows up with a letter saying she's allowed to go.
So basically Brie Larson was playing
Sam
Brie
Jackson pretty much is just it's because of you we lost the... Or is it because of you we lost the war? Or
something along those lines.
And I was like...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just again, you see the character Sam Jackson is, and
I just thought she was Jenny from Forrest Gump. Anti-war protests and all that.
Okay.
Yeah, Jenny. But anyway, so they all get. I do like the scene of them on the boat, just like all kind of hanging out.
Oh, yeah, she's taking the pictures.
They're all laughing. Yeah. They're having a good time. But so they make it to the island, and there's a giant storm cloud surrounding it.
Giant is an understatement.
Like Jupiter's.
They even say
this
right was a lot bigger than we expected. We're gonna cancel this. We're not doing this. And John Goodman's just like, yeah, no,
we'll never get another chance.
We'll never get another chance at this. And this is why we brought
the military.
The military, because especially this military team are good at flying through storm systems. So
yeah, so they managed to make it through. Sam Jackson's narrating the whole time, which is great. His
hang on to your butts.
He says, "Hang on to your butts." The lines about Icarus are always really good.
He's very big on repeating lines from other movies.
I think also people expect it.
Yeah, I mean the fact that in the end of Winter Soldier, his tombstone has his quote from Pulp Fiction.
Oh, it's
right?
great.
To me, it's just great.
Yeah. We should do an episode on Deep Blue Sea. For all 8 minutes he's in it. No,
that's true.
But so they're using seismic explosives that Randa's partner made to map the island, and they're trying to prove the hollow Earth theory, which we did find out in I don't think they confirm it in this movie, but in Godzilla King of the Monsters they confirm that the hollow Earth theory is true. So obviously, kind of dropping explosives on somebody's home, especially when they're 100-foot ape.
Well, there's some good, again, with the cinematography. There's this great scene where one of the pilots, you see the fire reflection in his glasses, and he's loving this. God knows what they're killing down there. But and then all of a sudden, cut to a giant tree just flying right at the.
Oh, it's great! It's all slow motion.
Incoming.
And they got the music going, and just god,
great.
it's good. It's a great scene.
And then it's very similar to Godzilla, where you're not seeing the full thing; you're just seeing glimpses of his hand and his head. He's smacking helicopters out of the sky.
And as the director said, you want to see Kong with a bunch of helicopters using helicopters as battering ramps.
And then we get, I think, probably the best shot in the movie where the helicopters are flying towards him, and he's silhouetted
stands up in the sun,
in front of the sun. Great shot.
So good.
Great shot. And you could just see Sam Jackson's face, just like, what is that?
Yeah.
Is that a monkey?
I respect the soldiers in this movie because they treat it as soldiers would. They're almost like indifferent. They're like, to them, it's just another hostile jungle.
Yeah.
And it's great. Everybody else is like, ah.
Well, basically, they're obviously shocked at what they're seeing, but, they're not like they're not freaking out. But
I was freaking out.
You were freaking out?
I probably had to pee at this point.
Probably.
And I was out of popcorn. But anyway.
You're out of popcorn before the trailers were over.
That is factual, especially at AMC. Oh, my God. 3 days of trailers.
It's like that at every theater, except for Carmel.
Carmel, two
Carmel
trailers.
Is like, if you got 2 trailers, you're lucky.
Yep. So they end up all getting knocked out of the air by Kong. Some survive, most don't.
A lot don't.
Yeah. So they're split up into different groups, right? Yeah. So we had 2 groups, one with Conrad, Weaver, and the researchers, and one with the soldiers, and...
Yeah, Conrad and
the
Weaver
other
had
with
one
Randa
soldier.
And the rest. Yeah,
Conrad had one soldier with him, and then obviously Packard had a couple soldiers, and then what's his name?
Dear Billy.
He was by himself. Chapman on a different part of the island.
Mm-hmm.
And
we didn't even mention the Dear Billy thing. So apparently Chapman's writing to his kid.
Yes,
and his kid's name is Billy. So a recurring motif in this is all the soldiers saying Dear Billy, and then kind of saying what's happening. Like, Dear Billy, we're stuck in another jungle. This time it has monsters. Dear Billy, I just stepped in something. I don't know if it's human or monster. So it's just a recurring kind of thing that they do, and a fun little character nod. So Conrad's group manages... Well, let's take a step back. So Packard searches for the transport helicopter that Chapman was on because he wants to use the weapons that were on it to kill Kong.
Yeah.
Because in his mind...
That transport had the most... most explosives on it.
Because in his mind, Kong's now the bad guy. Kong's now the enemy. He just killed my men. There's a great shot of him holding up all the dog tags. That's a powerful shot. And that's his motivation. That's all you need.
And that's why I say I understand his motivation in that he is seeing Kong as the enemy to a point where it's like, okay, but by the end of the movie you're like, okay, man, you don't see that there's another Not
even that there's another threat, but if somebody came into my house and started wrecking things, I'd throw a punch. All right, and I could throw a good punch.
And you can throw a punch.
I have 14 reasons right away that you should not come into my house. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So Conrad's group manages to run into the natives of the island, the Iwi. Iwi? The Iwi.
Sounds right.
And Marlowe is actually living among them, and he's a little exposition-y. He explains to them that this island is home to a lot of different monsters, but they're in a safe spot that's guarded over by Kong.
Yes.
He was the protector of the island, and he protects from a creature's called the Skullcrawler. Still, the best line, call them Skullcrawlers, because it's neat, because it sounds neat. That's how we started our podcast, because it sounded neat.
Sounded neat?
Sounds neat. But
does it still sound neat?
If anybody's still listening, maybe. But it's just such a great...
Who's out there?
It's a great way to do exposition. They have a kind of visual storytelling with the diagrams.
Yes.
I really enjoyed it.
You see what the Skullcrawlers look like. You find out that Marlowe and Gunpei obviously team up to survive. They become best friends, obviously. I mean, who wouldn't with the only other
person who speaks
if he even did speak English.
Or speaks at all.
Yeah, that too. And then you find out that Gunpei was killed by the Skullcrawlers. And, Marlowe is obviously determined to get off the island. And great scene where he shows them where Gunpei is buried and his samurai sword is, in the ground with him. And when he, pulls the sword out, going like, I know we said we'd never leave each other, but, we're gonna get off this island.
But he also talks about how it's believed that when Kong dies, the Alpha Skullcrawler will not only come back, but also ravage the whole place. So he also mentions that Kong is, even though he's the last of his kind, he's still growing. So right now he's 100 feet tall. I would say he's got to be about the same height as Godzilla in this new movie.
Yeah, probably.
All the set stuff is like all the pictures and the trailers are very misleading about how. I think Kong's probably a little bit smaller.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the size between the two of them in this new one.
I did see in one of the trailers they have their Batman and Superman shot where they're like right next to each other. I love stuff like that. Yeah. That's always good. Alien vs Predator, they did it too, even though those movies suck.
Freddy vs Jason.
Yeah, that movie sucked too.
Hey, I like that movie.
Hey.
I like that movie.
But
for all the wrong reasons.
For all the wrong reasons,
but I like it.
So we get a little fast forward. Chapman gets ambushed and killed by a juvenile Skullcrawler. He does get to see Kong though. Kong has his little fight with the squid.
Yeah, which was fun. But
yeah, fun. And then he eats it.
I know. It's seafood, man.
He takes it with him.
Raw seafood.
Yeah.
Some people like it. I don't.
I don't either. I love seafood, but I do
it's
not
gotta
like
get cooked.
It's got to be cooked. Oh God, get out of here with that.
Especially squid. Ugh.
Yeah. I do want to try pufferfish one day because
isn't that poisonous?
If it's not made perfectly.
Well, then why would you want to chance that?
Because I want to chance death.
Wasn't that from Franklin and Bash? Was it like
I think so. Yeah.
Pufferfish was poisonous or something.
If that show was still on, I could see us doing a podcast about it.
Oh God.
Oh my God, that show was great. It's technically canon now with Saved by the Bell.
If that even comes back for a second season, I don't know.
Is.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Of course it is. Come on, this is the nostalgia generation.
Did you ever finish it?
No, I just watched the first episode. Got a lot of other shows, man.
Okay, fine.
Did you watch Superman and Lois?
I know the recordings got deleted, so I got to go on.
Yeah, because you definitely can't watch it any other way. This guy, but anyway,
right, calm down. I watched all 10 seasons of Smallville. Give me that.
I watched it with you. So Conrad's group helps Marlowe finish a boat that he's been making because they have to make it to a certain port on the island. What is it? Which Jurassic Park was it when they have to make it to the other side of the island to get picked up?
Jurassic Park 3.
Oh God, that movie sucked.
Again. Why you gotta be like that?
Because that movie sucked.
It didn't suck.
Talking Velociraptor.
Lost World, Jurassic World for Forgotten, Fallen Kingdom.
Yeah.
That movie sucks.
God, what a terrible. Like it had so much potential. It's had some good moments, but for the most part, I haven't seen it in its entirety since we saw it. Yeah, but so they're riding down the river, and we get some really cool moments. We get the scene of Kong picking up the helicopter off the water buffalo.
Yes. And that's him and Brie Larson's first little moment.
Their first
of
interaction,
understanding each other.
Yeah. The carnivorous birds. That was a scary scene. Like,
yeah.
Those birds
when
were
carries
terrifying.
when he carries the one guy off and
like pulls him apart.
We didn't talk about we talked about we did talk about the spider.
We mentioned the spiders,
legs.
but yeah.
Was,
so the giant spiders with
that
bamboo
just
legs
impales the guy like through his mouth.
Because all these creatures adapted to survive on this this like basically it's its own planet.
Well, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. So Marlowe leads them to a mass grave of dinosaurs, which is a nice little nod to dinosaurs being on this island.
Yes,
and also including Kong's family members.
So this is after they've teamed back up with Packard, because this is where the
they regroup.
This is the no place according to Marlowe, because Marlowe is like, we can't, because they team back up with Packard, and Packard of course is determined to go get Chapman.
Yeah, and I do like that scene where they, as soon as he says who he is, they're like, "Sir, it's welcome to join us." Like they're very respectful to another soldier, especially.
And then of course though, when they're like, "We're going this way," and he's like, "No,
can't go that way.
Can't go that way. That's where the Skullcrawlers are. Why would you want to go that way?" Well, our soldier is there, and he goes,
"No, he's not. He's dead."
Yeah, and he's like, I've only been on this island 28 years. What do I know?
But he does lead them through it. It's a very atmospheric location.
You really can't see. It's very like foggy.
They got the gas pockets that explode.
Of course, you see the remains of Kong's parents, which is a creepy scene. It's like you could tell they're just laying there.
So they get ambushed by the Skullcrawler that killed Chapman,
mm-hmm.
and he kills Randa in the process. Oh, so sad.
Mm.
And he kills a couple of others, but then Weaver manages to trigger the flaming gas explosion that kills it.
Yes.
And
that was her moment.
Her heroic moment. Well, she also fires the flare gun.
That's true.
Yeah. So she's got a few moments. But that's when they find out that Chapman's actually dead, because they find his dog tags in.
Well, they see, Tom Hiddleston's character, they see him cough up the skull
with the
dog tags. And he's like, oh, your soldier's dead. He goes, well, it doesn't matter. We still have to get to the crash site.
So yeah, because they find out that Chapman passed away, and Packard's like, well, this is I'm still going to kill Kong, and I'm going to avenge my men. Like, this is war now.
Yeah, and you could see it on the faces of the other soldiers. They're kind of like, do we go with him, or we have to obey him. He's our commander, but. Yeah.
So the group
they split up.
Resplits up.
Yeah, because pretty much Tom Hiddleston's like, I'm going to take these civilians, and we're going to go back to the boat.
Because Tom Hiddleston also knows that actually confronting Sam Jackson, he's not going to survive it.
No, this guy's determined, and
he's got a platoon of loyal soldiers.
Yeah, and I don't want to get anyone else hurt. So he's just like, we're not going with you. We're going to go this way. Mm-hmm. Good luck. Yeah,
so sad. But so Packard's group goes to the crash site. They collect everything, and they plot like a trap for Kong.
They pour all the gasoline into the napalm into the water, and they pretty much have him set up, so that when he shows up.
And this is also our scene where Conrad and Weaver meet Kong close up. It's a great shot too, with great effects. Like it's crazy.
Through the fog with his eyes.
Oh yeah,
it's great.
A lot of good eye shots in this.
Yeah,
a lot of good reflections.
I thought that the visuals in this movie were very well done.
Mm-hmm.
I really did. So it makes up for some of the faults of the plot, but again, for what it is, I like it.
Yeah.
It works.
So they realize that Kong is a peaceful being. He's not there to really do wrong to anybody,
as long as he's not provoked.
Yeah. So they decide that they're going to save him.
Yeah.
So Packard manages to lure Kong there with the remaining seismic charges, and they use the napalm to incapacitate him.
Mm-hmm.
So Conrad, Weaver, and Marlowe show up, and we get our traditional Mexican standoff.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the sword. He sneaks up on them too. He hasn't lost a step, that guy. And they actually manage to convince the other soldiers to stand down.
And then we get the giant Skullcrawler
because it thinks Kong is dead.
Yeah.
So, and we also get the most useless sacrifice in history.
I just love John Cena. That's the big one.
Yeah, that's the big one. So, what's the name of the guy? Shea Wiggum, who plays Earl Cole.
Yeah.
He's probably one of the more other developed characters in this movie. He's got his few moments.
He's like that bizarre.
So his plan is, I'm going to crack these grenades, have the Skullcrawler eat me, and I'm going to blow it up from the inside. I can't help but be reminded of Drax jumping into the space alien. His skin's is just as hard on the inside as it is on the outside. You see him inside. Ah! But I do enjoy expectation subversion.
Yeah.
So the Skullcrawler's like, get out of my way. Smacks him into a mountain.
The mountain blows up.
And he just blows up, and they're all like, that should have worked.
He meant well.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it and I laugh about it, but it's the dumbest thing ever.
Well, I think it works because everybody's just like, that would be the typical thing is a guy sacrifices himself with that. And then finally a monster's just like, get out of here.
Get out of here. And also we did forget to mention that Kong crushes Packard.
Oh, it was great.
Oh, so good.
Kong's just like, get out of here.
Isn't he monologuing at the time too? Probably. So the Skullcrawler and Kong have their battle royale with the help of the humans, including a flare gun to the eye.
Battle royale.
Doesn't the boat show up and start firing at it?
Yeah, he's firing he's firing at
like the turret gun. But really great scene, and the boat propeller's awesome.
Oh,
when he again,
because he's tied down by the chains, and he finally just grabs the chains and just flings and
pulls the
propeller.
Oh,
yeah,
so good. And great slow motion shot.
Mm-hmm.
I think slow motion when done right looks really cool. Wonder Woman's a great example of slow motion done really well. There's some really good slow motion shots in that. 300's obviously known for a lot of it, but I think with the right shot, the right music, the right just atmosphere, a good slow motion shot really does something good. But it's even funnier when it's in slow motion than it misses. Still, my favorite slow motion sequence. It's kind of a cop out, and I already said I hated this movie, but I'm going to say it. Justice League, when Superman looks at Barry as he's running. That is a fun scene. Yeah, I call that slow motion because everybody else is not moving. Yeah. But so they managed to help Kong defeat the Skullcrawler.
He just pulls his
Well, it's funny because he tries to pull his jaw apart. Yeah. Very King Kong.
Very Godzilla,
Not even Godzilla, but also he does it to the dinosaur in Peter Jackson's.
That's true.
So
but he's also got his tongue is wrapped around his arm.
He pulls his brain out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Whatever's attached to that.
Yeah. He rips his insides out.
Oh, God. Brutal. And he does his traditional banging on the chest, which is always great.
And he just walks away. Yeah. But then he gives that little nod back to him.
Well, he catches Brie Larson.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Because she's on the mountaintop and fires a flare gun, and that Skullcrawler's like, lady? Ow. I just woke up. Wow. Haven't even had my coffee yet. Had your friends for breakfast. But anyway. So
true.
Yeah. So they manage to get to the rendezvous point, and they get taken off the island.
They get rescued.
Yeah, and you see Kong stoically watches as they...
Get out of here!
Yeah. So, and then the movie itself ends, but we have two scenes afterwards. We have a mid and post credits. So the mid credit scene is Marlowe reuniting with his wife and his son for the first time.
I don't think that's his son.
That's a loyal lady.
I was about to say, because how's that his...
Fun fact, it's played by his son.
Okay, fair enough, but I don't think that kid was almost 30 years old. That kid looked like he was
Come on.
You think he was...
Come on. Maybe she was pregnant when he left.
Okay, no. What I'm saying is the kid did not look like he was 30 years old, and which he...
Like he looked too old or too young?
He looked too young.
Again, she could have been pregnant, and it's close enough. I'm going to look up his age during this movie. All right?
What I'm saying is the guy was on the island for almost 30 years. There's no way that's his kid. I'm sorry.
What if he's 31?
Okay, fine. You want to say he's 31? Okay,
it's implied that that's his son. Get out of here, Sean. You just negative Nancy.
I think that's implied that it's his wife's son,
and he gets his beer and his hot dog.
Who's this guy?
He gets his beer and his hot dog.
He gets his beer and his hot dog.
Just be happy about it.
I'm happy. The math doesn't work for me,
Jerry. But so we now get.
I don't think he'd be upset if his wife had a kid.
The fact that she let him stay there is incredible too. And
she's like, "Who are you?"
Yeah, prove it.
It's like you look nothing like the guy who left here 30 years ago.
How did you gain weight on an island? That's mean. I'm sorry, John C. Reilly, if you're listening. That's not nice. At least he shaved and cut his hair. But
he cut his beard a little bit.
Yeah, you do see him cut his beard. Yeah, but so Monarch has to debrief Conrad and Weaver, and it's a great scene because Conrad knows exactly what's happening, and he's he does his cool guy staring at the mirror.
Mm-hmm. It's like, we get it. There is no island.
So Sandlin and Brooks come in that King Kong's and tell them Kong's not the only monster, and they show cave paintings. Mm-hmm. First of I think it was Mothra and Rodan.
Yes.
And then of Godzilla
and Gojira.
Was it good? You mean Godzilla?
No, what's the one with the 3 heads?
Ghidorah. King Ghidorah.
You know
Gojira is Godzilla's other name.
Yeah, I got it.
Doofus. But anyway,
Again.
and then the final image shows Godzilla and Ghidorah in battle.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear the iconic roar from Godzilla. But I think this is a great example of how you do a cinematic universe better than a lot of these movies that are rushing to do it. DC. The Dark Universe.
Dark Universe didn't do anything. I mean,
they tried.
They tried one movie.
They put like 19 different movie references in one movie. You know, the reason this movie works for me is because it is a Kong movie.
Oh, it's a Kong movie, absolutely. It's absolutely a Kong movie. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about that. I agree.
Yeah.
It wasn't like you know, they made Godzilla and they're like, oh, you know, it didn't do enough money. Let's put Kong vs. Godzilla in the second movie.
Easy. Well, so speaking of which, this movie had a budget of $185 million, so it pulled in
like 500 plus,
$566 million.
Yeah, and it got positive reviews, which is tough for these types of movies. So.
It received a Best Visual Effects nomination.
Yeah.
But I also think that this MonsterVerse is. I enjoy it better because it's very similar to Marvel, where it's standalone movies and then a sequel to a bunch of standalone movies. Unfortunately, also, like we've said, they don't have a lot of other monsters to choose from. They can't make like a Ghidorah movie. I would love if they did an actual Mothra movie, but we'll see. Who knows? But I really do enjoy this movie, and it wasn't until I rewatched it that I realized how much I really enjoy this movie.
Yeah.
What about you? Any thoughts on Kong?
Again, for someone who was not big on the whole Godzilla Kong universe, you know, previously, I thoroughly enjoyed both of these movies, the Godzilla and the Kong Skull Island. I think they have done this very well, building this universe, and done it at a good pace where it's not shoved down your throat. They've spread the movies out well enough that you're like, okay, it's sort of like an event, you know. Now it's like we're waiting for Kong. When did King of the Monsters come out? Last year or 2019? Had to be 2019 because we didn't go to a movie in 2020. So it's going to be...
Oh, no, I saw Harley Quinn.
Okay, so prior to March of 2020 is the last time, you know, really you saw a movie, and I don't think it was then.
No.
So I really enjoy the way they've put these movies together. Each movie on its own has been good. Like I said, I got to watch King of the Monsters over again just to try and give it a better feel for it. But this movie... Just again, as you said, to watch it again for the first time in a while the other day, and I was like, I really like this movie.
Yeah, I mean, this movie visually, it's beautiful,
beautifully visually. Characters, again, very tough to make good characters in these types of movies, but I thought this movie did it the best out of all of them. Where like the characters have a legitimate purpose in the movie, good backstory. They have a mission, they do their jobs, and you know we get it. And it is what it is. Because, again, these movies are the monsters movies. So the human character is not the priority of the storytelling. But I thought this one did a good job giving both.
Yeah, and it has its own unique flair and style. You know, one criticism of the Marvel movies you can make is they all kind of feel like the same movie. I mean, Ant-Man...
This is definitely a different movie than Godzilla.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Ant-Man is tiny Iron Man.
Yes, we know.
Doctor Strange is magic Iron Man. Like, I hate to say it, to a point.
That's just, they know the formula for a good starter film, and they're copying it.
Oh, yeah.
It's succeeding for them.
Good for them. Trillions of, all the money.
Yeah. But the key, and I don't want to get so off topic here, but the key for Marvel is they take that, and usually the second movie is 100 times better than the first movie, except for Iron Man.
And then you get the rare gems from them, like the Netflix shows, which were fantastic, but totally different than the rest of their universe.
I think Thor is the perfect example of that. You know, Thor 1 is a good movie. It's not great. Thor 2...
We don't talk about
Thor 2, but then you get just a diamond in the rough that is Thor Ragnarok, and it totally rejuvenates the character.
Oh, it's totally...
To the point where, like, you want to see this character again now.
So excited for the next
Thor movie. If they ended after Thor the Dark World, you'd be like, I really don't need to see Thor.
Which one was Thor again? Yeah.
Pretty much.
But, yeah, this movie really, it surprised me. It was a pleasant surprise.
Yes.
I don't hold Kong in the same regard I hold Godzilla, so I came in relatively fresh. Like, it's.
See, I'm more of a Kong. I mean, if you could say that, I guess I would have been more looking for the Kong than I was the Godzilla.
Yeah, because more for the traditional movie aspect of it.
Either or, I went into both movies very like, okay, I don't know what we're gonna see here, but I'm looking to have a good time.
Here's the way that I did this. If you listen to our episode about Batman on the Multiverse Fancast, we had a discussion. What makes a good Batman movie? And there's a list of a list of things that I need in these movies. And for these giant monster movies, it's very simple. I want cool human protagonists, that I can relate to or that just, are interesting. I want giant monster fights. And I want a happy ending for the most part.
Yeah.
But
and that's what we got.
You really that's the cool thing about these are popcorn flicks. We don't need logic and nuance.
No,
I don't.
I agree.
I'm not going into this thinking I want to watch The Departed right now with monsters. I want to see Kong.
We don't need to be watching Gone with the Wind. We don't need to be watching a movie we know is going to be like a classic, movie. This is just
a good time.
You said it right. It's a popcorn flick.
Give me the popcorn, man. Yeah. That's all I need.
And sometimes those are great movies. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they are. And this one I thought was good.
Yeah, me too.
What's your Star City rating for this one?
I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5.
I agree.
It is well above average.
Very
it is not
much
perfect. It is not it's a movie that I can enjoy, but it's a movie I also have to put on and watch.
I don't think we gave our Star City ratings for the other Godzilla. What would you go back on?
I'd say 3 out of 5 or 3.5 out of 5. Yeah, same rating.
I'd go 3.
You go 3? A little bit lower?
Below Kong. I think Skull Island's a much better movie than the Godzilla one.
I'm going to have trouble rating King of the Monsters.
Okay.
Because King of the Monsters, it ticks all my boxes, but story-wise, it's a mess.
Oh.
But, yeah, so we would love to hear from you guys about what you thought about Kong, what you're thinking about King of the Monsters or Godzilla versus Kong. We have 2 more.
It's Kong versus Godzilla.
Get out of here.
I'm just going to keep doing this to piss you off.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Ronnie, can you edit that? Thanks. So, we would love to hear from you guys. So the easiest way, like I said at the beginning of the show, is our website, which is themisfitfaction.com, or our Facebook page, Cinematic Adventures. There you can find links to all of our different media. You can find us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, or Podbean. And wherever you guys find us, just make sure you leave us a like, a review, tell us things that we could do better, things that you enjoy, or just tell us to stop trying. Either way, we'll take that criticism and we'll run with it, because as the director of this movie actually said in an actual honest trailer, criticism is one of the most important parts of any media. So we would love to hear from you guys. But I think that pretty much wraps it up for us tonight. As always. Yeah,
As
I'm
always.
Paul.
You're Paul?
I think.
I'm Sean. I'm Ron Burgundy.
Who put a question mark on the teleprompter? So we will see you guys next week for
King of the Monsters.
We're talking about my ex-girlfriend on this? Wow. All right, guys. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye.